Okay, so today is day 17, and we've had a wonderful time this week. I would like you to relax, chill out. All we're going to do is some foam rolling today. So I say chill out, but actually, it might get a little bit intense during the next 20-25 minutes. But all I want you to do is use the breath, breathe into the soft tissue release as we explore the muscle fibers and we try to dig in and just break up any tension through the body. So what you'll need is a tennis ball or a lacrosse ball or even like a foam one. This is a cheap one that I got from probably Sports Direct, and a foam roller. Again, nothing too fancy. We're just going to work through the entire body from the soles of our feet to the back of our necks. So grab a space, set out your mat, get some water or some nice herbal tea, and we'll get stuck into day 17 of the challenge. So we're going to start by placing the ball on the floor, and you're going to place it under any foot. I always start with my dominant side, and you're slowly going to massage the sole of your feet. So don't put too much pressure on the ball, just enough that you can roll through the instep and the outstep. And you're searching for any areas of tension. When you find an area, pause and then apply a little bit of downwards force for about 10 seconds or so, and then continue to explore. So always the instep of my feet, where I carry most of my tension. For you, it might be your heel, the balls of your feet. What I'll try to do is give you as much space and room as possible to enjoy the silence and focus. And I'll just offer gentle reminders to reconnect with the breath and also when to change side. So when you're foam rolling or massaging out a void bone, you're only ever working through the meaty, fleshy parts of your muscles. So as we work our way through the body, avoid ankles, knees, hips, the spine as well, and shoulders. Slowly just take pressure off the ball and switch side. Just give your foot a little bit of a shake out, and then change side. So really use the breath to apply that pressure. I like to take a deep breath in just before I dig into somewhere intense, and then use the exhale to apply that downwards force, just like in our practice. During the effort is where you exhale, and during the relaxation is where you inhale. So move as slow as possible while you're foam rolling. That way you're going to avoid injury, but also it gives you more time to really focus and tune in on what's actually happening and what you can feel. So treat this like a mindful exercise. Final 10 seconds, and then take your foot off, shake it out. And then just place the ball to one side. So I want you to give the soles of your feet a little stretch. So if you roll down through the spine, look for that stretch through your lower back. Now I was training yesterday, it was all stability work, single leg balances, so I can really feel my lower back. And then gently bend through the knees and set yourself down as we come into child's pose. Keep the feet flexed, the balls of the feet grounded, and just shift your weight back. So you can come all the way down to child's pose or stay on all fours. Whatever's comfortable for you, you're just looking for that stretch through the soles of the feet. And then gently ease off. And sit on your buttocks. We're going to stretch out, or should I say, dig into the calf muscles, so the back of the lower leg. So this is all experimentation. It's all about being curious and exploring what you're actually feeling at the time that you're feeling it. So with this foam rolling of the calves, should I say, let me find my words. I like to internally and externally move my leg as I'm flossing up and down the muscle. So I'm going to use my hand for support and lift my hips off of the ground. Gently roll through the calf muscle from the top to the bottom. I'm using this as a way to just see what's going on. And as I'm doing that, I just change my position, internally rotating my feet, working through the inside and the outside of the calf muscle. If you can't apply pressure through the wrists, at the moment, my right wrist is pretty bad. You can shift your weight forwards, or do this from an elevated position while you're sitting on a chair. You can bring your leg up onto a hard surface, a bench as an example, and then use the chair to just support your seated position. There we go. When you find that tender spot, just hold. Apply a little downwards force. So I'm actually pushing down on the foam roller now. If you need a bit more, ooh, right there. Then you can take one leg on top of the other to increase that pressure. Remember, it's just 10 seconds or so that you're holding that pressure down, and then continue to explore. So what we're going to do is going to work up one leg, and then we're going to change side. Gently ease off. Just perform a few ankle circles in both directions just to help relieve any discomfort you're feeling from the calves. And we're coming to the back of the thigh. So just roll the foam roller up a little bit further. And we're going to go through the same process. So remember to avoid bone. So for this in particular, It's going to be the hip bone that you're trying to avoid. And as you rotate out, careful, the IT band side of the thigh is really going to be quite tender, really tight. So you don't need to apply as much pressure, but use your hands, your arms, just to control your weight. So stay with this for about 10 seconds and then slowly come off of the foam roller. Just gently shake out the leg. Going to work on outside the glutes. So for this particular area, you're going to cross the left foot or whatever leg it is that you've been working on. You're crossing that foot over the opposite knee. So sit on the foam roller to begin with, and then cross the foot over the knee. Bend through, and you're trying to open and stretch out this outside hip. So you reposition yourself to the middle of the foam roller and then gently massage and floss out the outer edge. Ooh, right there, the outer edge of the glutes. Avoid bone. Take your time, move nice and slow. When you find a sweet spot, hold it right there. The more excruciating it is, I would suggest taking a little bit of your body weight off, but also breathe deeper, stay connected with the breath. And if you wince, don't worry, you're allowed to be human. And to come out of this stretch, just uncross the legs, come back onto your buttocks, then just ease yourself off. Let's go on to the other side. So going back down to the calf muscle now. The same principle applies on this side, just roll from top to bottom, bottom to top. One side will probably feel more tender than the other, and that's just indicating where you like to shift your weight. So I know I like to shift my weight onto my left side. So that's where all of my tension is, or the majority of it is. For you, it might be different. It probably will be different, to be fair. So just explore. See what feels good. Spend a couple more moments here. And then gently come off. A few ankle circles in both directions. And at any point, if you feel like you need to spend more time on an area than the other, then you just pause this video, you stay there a little longer, we'll let the video roll, and you just rejoin us when you're ready. So let's take it further up the thigh, into the back of the legs. So personally, I know I wouldn't be on this side for any real length of time because it actually feels quite nice, quite relaxed. Now, with the nature of this challenge, there's certain areas that we're not going to dig into, like groin area, uh, parts of the back. Just going to get the big, chunky, easier to access sections of the body. But if you want any more guidance on how to get into areas that I've missed, for one, let me know in the support group or the comments of this video, or two, well, yeah, let me know in those two areas. And what I'll do is I'll put something together for you and help you through it. So let's take another 10 seconds here. There we go, I found a sweet spot. And gently ease off. And let's do the glutes on this side as well. So always try and control how much pressure you're putting down. You don't want to dig too deep and damage yourself. So spend a little bit of time making sure that you can support yourself. If it feels sharp, then stay away from that area. There should be no sharp, hot poking or shooting sensations while you foam roll. To be fair, while you foam roll, stretch, or exercise, those are the sensations that you always want to stay away from. That's your body telling you it's not prepared to do what you're asking it to do, and that there's something wrong. So another 10 seconds, and then we'll come off. So bring your feet hip width apart. And then extend through. Let's see if you're sitting in a deep squat, by the way. We're coming into a forward fold. So feet hip width apart. And then lift the tailbone up to the sky. Let the crown of your head fall down to the ground. And gently walk through your forward fold. Having a little nosy around to see what feels good, what feels different. So my calves feel great, I won't lie. I hope yours do too. But my lower back still needs a little attention. So we'll get to that in a moment. We're going to come back onto the foam roller. So you're going to take this onto the tops of your legs, or the front of your legs, should I say. And we're focusing on the shins. So when you're rolling, again, avoid the bone. You're trying to get these fleshy parts down the side of the shin bone itself. So find a nice starting point. I always like to start from the top. You're going to internally rotate the leg just to start on the outside edge. Then use the other knee on the ground just to support your weight. Slide down the leg, see what feels good, and back up again. Change your position where necessary. You're not stuck in one spot, in one position. And I'm flexing and pointing my foot just to see how it feels when I add a little bit of tension to the calf muscle, so shorten it, or when I lengthen it. Specifically, I'm talking about the front of the shins. So by pulling the toes towards the shins, you're stretching the back of the leg, but you are adding a little bit of contraction to the shin area. And as you point, you're stretching the front. That feels much, much better. So let's roll onto the inside for the final 20 seconds. And gently come off. We're going to go onto the top of the thigh now. So for this, place it just below the hip bone at the top. Then you're going to lay down on the foam roller, and you can allow your foot to slide across the mat, come up onto your forearms or your hands. And again, you're still trying to enter this experience with curiosity. So you internally rotate, so you're rolling onto the outside edge of the thigh. Or externally rotate. So we're not going to go too high up into the thigh and the groin area, but just explore, see what feels good. To get the inside of this thigh, you're going to have to bend the knee, extend the other leg, and bend the knee. Just reposition the foam roller so you can feel through the inside of the thigh, just above the knee. And take your time, reconnect with the breath. Take a breath in, slowly come up. We're going to change side. So going back down to the shin, starting on the outside. Or the inside, whatever works for you, to be fair. It's about where you're feeling your tension. We're all going to feel it in different places and therefore want to focus on different places, different areas. And when you're ready, you're just going to transition if you haven't already. And see if you can get the inside of the calf and shin. And gently ease off. Let's take it to the tops of the thigh. If you are on your forearm, I should have coached you through this a little bit earlier. If you are on your forearm, be sure to push yourself out of your shoulder socket so you're not collapsing into it and crunching the neck. So you are applying a little bit of downwards force. You might have noticed I'm in loads of weird, wonderful positions, but it requires a little bit of core strength and stability. So use everything you've learned during the first 16 days of this challenge to help you through this foam rolling session. And then you're bending the leg, reposition the foam roller just to get the inside of the thigh. Then slowly ease off of the foam roller. You should be on all fours. So we're going to take the knees wider than the hips, place the foam roller to one side for a moment, shift the hips back towards your heels, and just transition into child's pose. Get comfortable in the hips. You can stay on all fours again if you prefer. Stretch out the soles of the feet, tops of the thighs. And then inhale, take the hips up and back as you come into downward dog. Stretch out the back of the legs. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Walk through your downward dog. We're here for 3 breaths. And then set the knees down to the ground. Release the wrists, shoulders. Okay, last few areas that I want to explore. We're going to look at the lats, edge of the body, and then the traps as well. So for your lats, what I'm going to ask you to do, you're coming into a side seated position, hand down on the ground, and you're looking for the fleshy part of the muscles beneath your armpits. So if you just position yourself so you're side on, there we go, I've got a nice little cushion there on the lats. And you're gently going to slide your hips down your mat, rolling up towards the armpit but not in there. When you find a tender spot, pause. If you don't, just gently roll back down until you do. Avoid ribs. And when you find a tender spot, see if you can just roll the top shoulder back a little bit so you're flossing through the lats and across them. I'm using this extended arm for a bit of support, and I'd advise that's where you start. It's just going to help control the weight that you're and the pressure that you're applying. But if you want a little bit of a deeper experience, then you just extend and stretch through the fingertips. That's going to help lengthen the lats so you can get deeper into the muscle. We're not going to be here too long. The longer that you are here, the more you'll feel this in the throat and neck. So try and relax the head, throat, neck. Because we do a lot of downward dogs, and we have been doing a lot of downward dogs and planks, your lats will be pretty tight. So this is a great one to loosen it up. One final breath in. Slowly come off the foam roller. Switch side. A few shoulder circles just to help loosen up. And shake out the lats, shake out the arms. And then let's come into the other side. So another 10 seconds here. And then we're gently going to ease off. I want you to put the foam roller to one side. Gently roll the shoulders back and forth. Come back into your child's pose. We're going to take a side bend, sinking the hips to heels, and then walking the hands off one side of the mat, drawing the forehead down to the ground, stretching out the edge of the body. Keep the shoulders relaxed as you do. And breathe into the outer rib cage to open that space. Take one more breath in here. And on the exhale, walk the hands through center off the other side of the mat. One final breath in. Come back to center as you breathe out. Walk the hands to hips and roll the shoulders back. So we're going to spend about 2 minutes just focusing on the upper traps. And for this, we're going to need that trusty ball that we had at the beginning of the session. We're going to lay on our back with your heels pulled into your buttocks. So what you're looking for is the fleshy part of your neck, and you're going to get the ball right underneath it. So you roll onto your side and then place the ball right underneath that fleshy part of the shoulders. And you're trying to avoid the shoulder bone and the spine. And you're going to floss across the neck, nice and slow, looking for the area of tension and tightness. When you find it, just relax down. And then start to explore again. So if you carry your tension in your shoulders like I do, you might be able to hear all sorts of clicking and clunking as you move the ball across. Spend the final 10 seconds just exploring. And then to come off the ball, just roll onto one side. Remove the ball from beneath the shoulder. And then we're going to change sides. So I'm going to flip around. And then get back down on the ground. So remember, move as slow and as mindfully as you can. Trying to tune into what feels good and what doesn't. Stay away from those areas that feel sharp. Avoid any bone. Avoid the back of the neck. Remember to use the breath, stay connected. Exhale when you apply that pressure. Inhale when you're easing off it. Use the next 10 seconds. Make the most of it. And then slowly roll off the ball. Place it to one side. Pull the thighs into the chest. Bring the hands around the shins. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, draw the shoulders away from the ears. Lift the chest into the thighs. Take a deep breath in here. Fill the lungs all the way. And exhale, release. Let the legs go, fall down to the ground. Feet flat or extended. Bring the arms down by your side. Close down the eyes and allow the breath to fall back to its natural pattern. Feel the body. Feel the difference. And notice if there are still any areas that need work. And observe any areas of newfound freedom. Take one more breath in, nice and deep, all the way to the top. Hold the breath at the top. Take a little sip of air through the mouth. Hold for 4, 3, 2, and exhale the breath all the way out. Fully empty the lungs. Then pull the thighs into the chest as you breathe in. Roll up to a seated position to finish off. Give it everything a shake if you need to. And take the time to relax. Enjoy the freedom that you've just found and given yourself. And enjoy the rest of the day. I'm well chilled out now. So I'll see you tomorrow for day 18 of this challenge. Until then, stay blessed. Peace.